What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have got our, what month is it? We've got our April unboxing for the Mystery Tackle Box Elite. I'm not going to waste anybody's time once I find a multi-tool. Got one. I got some homework due in a few hours, so I really want to try to crank this unboxing out. We're going to try to get this done as quick as we can. I couldn't help myself. I spoiled myself a little bit with what was in this box. For anybody who's getting the Mystery Tackle boxes, when Carl sends you the email that says it's shipped, it also gives you a preview of what's in your box. I wish they hadn't done that because I am the worst about this kind of stuff. I hate waiting, I hate surprises, so I look pretty much every time now, which sucks because I do like being surprised for these unboxings. I think I remember seeing a clutch on there, a Guggen Squad clutch, but otherwise I literally have no idea. I'm sure there'll be some 10,000 Fish stuff, some Guggen stuff. I mean, any of the Carl's partner stuff. It's usually a safe guess you get at least one of those in every box, which is fine. They're good products. At the end of the day, I prefer getting a bunch of brands I've never heard of, and I've mentioned that a bunch before, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about it again. Otherwise, we're just going to get straight into it. First off, we've got some Harmony, looks like some offset worm hooks. This just looks like the sample size they send with Mystery Tackle boxes. It's not a full set. It doesn't have a size on them either. I would guess maybe a 3/0. I honestly don't use offset hooks all that often, even with Senkos or anything. I mostly just use EWG hooks. So I don't get a ton of work with offset hooks, but there's nothing wrong with them. I have used Harmony EWG hooks before, and I really like them. So as far as the brand goes, it's one of those brands you don't use a ton of, but I have used before and I do like. Got our dibble, got our tips and tricks. We'll come back. We've got a 1/4 ounce Roadrunner, like Marabou Pro Runner underspin, which actually I think is going to be really nice. I love how that massive skirt in the back. But not only that, especially during like this early spring with the perch run going on, the bass are usually looking for a lot of white presentations. But not only that, I think sometimes the spinner bait is a little loud for them. They are feeding on the perch, but I think they're still looking for something a little smaller. So I think actually an underspin will be really good. And with the perch run kicking up right around now, I'm probably going to be using that sooner rather than later. Next, we've got another Mike Buka. So this is what, two months in a row? Last month we had a bull shad, right? And this month we've got the bull gill, which I've been looking to get my hands on. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. It's 3 3/4 inch swim bait, slow sinking, which I like, natural gill color, which is pretty nice for this time of year. Toward the end of the year, up at my camp anyway, I've mentioned the algae bloom before, so the water gets really tinted, and so I usually use darker colors as opposed to more natural colors, but especially for this time of year with the perch run, like I said, going on, this is going to do pretty good. I've mentioned my love-hate with swim baits. I think they look really good, but I haven't had a ton of luck on them. So I won't go into it again, especially since literally the last unboxing we did, I talked pretty in depth about it. But we'll just move on. We'll go through this as quick as we can. Next, we have got hard hat, Okeechobee Craw colored football jig, which I'm a big fan of. What was the size on that? 1/2 ounce. I do like 1/2 ounce jigs, but more often than not, I'm fishing from the bank, especially in the creek where there's a lot more weeds. 1/2 ounce tends to be a little heavier than I like to use just because it kind of sinks into the weeds. And I've talked a lot about this as well. A lot of my content kind of comes full circle because I fish the same 300 yards of creek and pond more often than I fish anywhere else. So that's where a lot of my experience comes from. And from that, a 1/2 ounce is a little big, but I've always liked the Okeechobee color because you've got the natural green pumpkin, and on the bottom there you've got your darker like black blue or just blue. So it's a really good mix of something you could use both in natural waters and in like muddy or stained water. My go-to craw for the whole year is the Strike King Rage Tail. And then in that transition period, kind of like late July, when we're moving from that more natural colored water to the stained water because of the algae bloom, I throw a lot of Okeechobee, again, because it's that good combo of both. And then into August, I start throwing more straight black and blue and other stuff like that. Next, yep, we have got the clutch, and thank God, we've got a Guggen Squad clutch in the most perfect color for this time of year, Fire Craw, on a Sriracha Craw, forgive me. Everyone and your mom is going to tell you that Craw colors are the best to use in the spring, and I'm not going to disagree. The only thing that I might use a little bit more is like a sexy shad color, again, because this time of year, all the bass and even the pike are feeding on white perch. So it kind of matches the hatch a little bit more. But they feed on crayfish year round, especially in the ponds that I fish. So this time of year, fire craw or any craw color is unbeatable. Next, we have got an Australian brand. Interesting. So Chase Bait's Weedless Vibes Snorter. So it looks like a weedless swim bait underspin style bait, which is actually really interesting. So it's got a largemouth pattern on it. I don't know if you guys can see that super well. I'm gonna try to leave everything in the packaging right now because I have mentioned it before. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway with these elite boxes. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I don't want to be giving you guys a bunch of open baits. So for now, usually I'll like open them up and do close-ups. I'm not going to do that right now, but what I might be able to do is in the description, I mentioned that they send you like what's in the box. So what I might be able to do is link that in my description so you guys can see what I got, all the different baits, and you can see videos of them. You can see kind of description where you'd use them, what you'd use them on. And that way I can keep everything in the boxes for now in case I decide to give these baits away. I feel like the blade is kind of a little bit small for this type of bait. Although it'll be a good finesse underspin. I guess I'm coming from this experience. I actually got one right here. So this is, I mean, it's a fair sized swim bait with a really small blade. And then this is a small finesse 1/8 ounce underspin just with just a normal jig head. And those blades are almost exactly the same size, even though this bait is significantly smaller. Does this have a size on it or like a weight? It just says 0.56 ounce, so that would be, it's just over 1/2 ounce, and this is only 1/8 ounce, and the blades are the same size. But I mentioned that underspins are nice when you're looking for a more finessey presentation, and actually smaller blades help out with that. They displace a lot less water, and they're a lot quieter. So again, maybe a small blade like that is actually ideal for an underspin. We got 3 more in here. Next, we've got Rebel, looks like a crankbait. Yep, this Rebel Squarebill crankbait looks like an albino bluegill, which is actually super interesting color. It's literally just blue and black. Again, you see these colors for soft plastic craws, but not for this, which is kind of odd. Oh, it's got barbless hooks too. I don't use a bunch of barbless hooks, but especially where I'm a super clumsy guy. I've not been shy about saying that, especially with hard baits with dual trebles. It can be a pain in the ass to get the hooks out, especially where I'm always worried about hooking myself as well as getting those hooks out as quick as I can. So barbless hooks may actually be my best friend. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever used a bait with barbless hooks. So again, maybe a blessing in disguise. Squarebill. So does it say how far we're gonna dive? It's got a pretty small bill, even for Squarebill. So I'm gonna say it's a pretty shallow dive, or maybe like a 3 to 4 foot. It doesn't say, not that I can see. Oh wait, no, it does. The square lip dives to about 3 feet. Yeah, what do you know? And resist snags. That's big, because especially in the creek that I fish, there's a bunch, especially now, I don't know where they're all coming from, maybe just from like windstorms and stuff, but there's a bunch of new timber and big sticks and stuff that are in the creek, along with the weeds that were there before. So it's always nice to have these types of crankbaits and spinnerbaits that instead of getting hooked, especially with the barbless hooks, instead of getting hooked into that timber, they kind of just bounce off of it. 2 more here. We've got a cream soft plastic, which I've never been the biggest fan of, but I haven't really given them their due credit either. I don't use them a ton. I mean, I always stockpile Strike King stuff, so very rarely do I run out and have the need to use really anything else. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have to. This was just a green pumpkin, 3 3/4 ounce 5-pack of craws, and it was already open. I didn't have to break anything or rip any seal to open it up, but I really like the look of that craw. I think it's a really good mix between like a natural presentation with the extra arms down here and big. I've always been a much bigger fan of like big fidgety arms up front. I think they really get the best attention without being too loud. Like I said, I like a finessey presentation as well. So I like these big arms up front that are big and they catch their attention without being super loud, like a big spinnerbait or like a crankbait or something like that. Last one, we've just got a Woo Tungsten pocket pack. Looks like it's just a go-to, maybe a Texas rig setup. Looks like you've got bobber stops, a couple tungsten bullet weights. I don't know what these are, maybe beads for like a Carolina rig. What I find interesting is it doesn't say the weight of the bullet weight either. Those are small. Those are pretty small. I guess maybe 1/4 or 1/8 of an ounce. But tungsten is pretty dense too, so those could be, I mean, those could be 3/8 ounces, small as they are. I'll never complain about having too many bobber stops or bullet weights. Like I mentioned with the algae bloom that happens every year at my camp, the weeds get even thicker than they usually are. I mean, that happens every year. As the summer goes on, these weeds get thicker and thicker, they grow and grow. So by the end of the year, I'm using a lot more Texas rigs than I am jigs, just because of that weedless presentation. I'm using lighter tackle, usually 1/8 ounce to usually around 1/4 ounce bullet weights, because I'm not fishing a ton of water. And usually I'm fishing Texas rigs with EWG hooks, because I can make them pretty much completely weedless as opposed to a jig. So I'll never complain about stockpiling a bunch of these. And that is everything in the box besides our sticker. We got our cowboy fish this month. But I had some homework to do tonight. I really wanted to crank this out for you guys, though. I'm really hoping to get it up tonight. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to. I've already got one perch run video recorded, and I've transferred all the video to my computer. I'm pointing this way because my computer is actually right behind you guys on my desk. So I'll hopefully be able to start editing that pretty soon. I'm pretty busy with classes right now, but I should definitely be able to. Ooh. It sucks when your brain gets moving a lot faster than your mouth does, because then you just have word vomit. And I do it constantly, especially when recording these videos. It can be frustrating sometimes. All the video is already on my computer. It's already there. All I need to do is edit it and put it and upload it. So hopefully, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to have it up for this coming weekend. But I'm at the point where I don't upload frequently at all. So even in my description on the channel right now, it says I upload every weekend, or I try to. I'm not at the point anymore where I'm gonna wait for a weekend to upload a video if I have it done. If I have this video done on Thursday, I'm just gonna upload it. I don't upload consistently enough to have a true upload schedule. I don't think you guys really care about that either. The one reason I did that, especially last summer, is that I was uploading more frequently, but also I wanted to have equal space between the videos. Instead, I didn't want to post an unboxing and then a fishing video 2 days between each other, and then have a week and a half where I'd post nothing and you guys would have to wait. I will probably get into a more consistent upload schedule as we hit the summer, because I have more time to fish and I have more time to edit and everything like that, and I'll be able to push out more content. But until the summer, between classes and work and whatever fishing videos I can kind of crank out, I'm not gonna wait for a weekend. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely look out for a white perch video in the next, at least in the next week, if not maybe a little earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Later.